Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Sir Rick, Drive Safe Dave, and of course the producer, coming here to you live out of Mansfield, Texas. Drive Safe Dave. We talked a little bit yesterday about, by far, the scariest movie in the history, right? We talked a little Freddy Krueger. Well, Drive Safe Dave, I'm gonna date you, and this may be something that you've talked to Mom about a little bit. The War of the Worlds. Talk to me about that.
Orson Welles, I believe it was 1938. It was a broadcast on live radio. It was a broadcast drama, War of the Worlds. And it came out, and as during it goes, they actually started it out, told everybody it was a drama, and then proceeded into the drama. And I don't know, 45 minutes into the drama of this deal, people were freaking out. Phone calls were going to police stations. People around the country were up in arms. They were driving around in the back of pickups, shooting at water towers in the middle of the night. They were thinking that they were truly being invaded. It really was a new thing that everybody totally freaked out, really scared, really doing what they do. A little bit of panic going on. They had to stop the broadcast in the middle of the broadcast and tell everybody again it was a drama and that this was just a radio drama.
Now that is fear, my friend.
Absolutely.
When you can strike fear in that many folks, you know, that's absolutely amazing. You know what? I'm sure nobody ever thought when they did this broadcast, right? No. We're going to freak the world out real quick.
No, they did not. And you know what? And they did such a great job with the on-site broadcasting, and as the drama unfolded, they did such a fantastic job. People were tuning in all over. They just started tuning in because they thought this was the only station getting the information.
Now, I'll tell you this. Had they seen the movie, the very first movie, The War of the Worlds, that was Jack Nicholson, right? Or was that, what was that before that? The movie came out, and that was by far the worst graphics. You would have known there's no chance that this was a real invasion had you watched the movie. But this was only on the radio.
Yes,
right? And it was only on before TV was really going.
Yeah.
Only on the radio. And imagine, Drive Safe Dave, sitting there and you listen to that, you're gonna freak out.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah, you know, the radio had become such an integral part of during the Depression, the fireside chats by Roosevelt. People had tuned in there to get communication, to get word from the president about what's going on and about what we're doing. And this just kind of evolved into these dramas. If you've ever listened to some of the radio dramas, very fascinating. Inner Sanctum, some of the comedies that are on there, Jack and Benny, and I mean, you can just, it's a lot of fun if you go back and listen to old time radio. You can actually catch some of that on satellite radio.
All right, hey, Drive Safe Dave, a little bit, we'll hop into overseas, into China, as they are starting to really get involved with the autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting article, wasn't it? Pretty fascinating stuff that here they've got the vehicles, the unmanned vehicles. Oh, but they've got a driver. They got like a rider in there to watch them, right? That was the whole point.
And they're going between 500 and 1,000 miles round trip. So some pretty lengthy hauls. They believe, you know, the CEO believes that, you know what, the commercial vehicle, because it's a structured route, right? Because they're going from point A to point B, they'll do those continuous moves all the time. They believe that, hey, that's why the autonomous vehicle in the commercial side will certainly beat the automobiles running.
Absolutely, and it's really interesting. I'm not even sure what the hours of service rules are in China. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Yeah, you'll do 1,000 miles today, or you will go to prison. I don't know. Exactly.
What kind of accent was that?
I don't know. That was my. I'm not sure. But you know, it's very interesting. I'm not even sure what they are, but I'll tell you, it's kind of crazy what's going on over there.
Well, the hours of service rules here, from what I've seen right here, is the labor law of the People's Republic of China states that if you are driving, you should work for no more than 8 hours a day and no more than 44 hours a week on average. So it's still constrained.
Wow.
It's still that's condensed down as opposed to
the 70-hour rule that we.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. And you know what? And we have some great interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. One of them with Waymo, right? We're going to talk a little bit, and some questions that I have on that is, you know, it made me wonder when I read that article, is there some more freedom, right? Is it a little relaxed overseas in, say, China to be able to just run them until you figure it out? Or is it more strict over there than, say, here in the United States?
That's a great question, and I'll tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the rules might be stricter over there than they are here. You know, they don't believe in the hands-off theory when it comes to business. I'm sure, and they're definitely involved in all manufacturing and the government. So I would tend to believe they're a little bit more strict.
And I was wondering too, and in all seriousness, I mean, let's face it, labor over there in China isn't near what we have here in the States. Is it really cheaper over there to run it with a computer, right? With the truck on its own than putting a human inside it?
Yeah, I would think that it is a little bit cheaper. Not only, I mean, you have to worry about getting tired. You have to worry about fatigue.
You just throw another driver in, drive safe, Dave. I mean, there's a lot of folks over there. Just throw another driver in.
There is a lot of folks over there, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And we saw Volvo, right, kind of stepping in the game as well. Volvo showed us their new autonomous vehicle as well. Look at that, a good-looking truck.
Yep.
It looks just like the other trucks, except it's got a few more gadgets on it.
Yeah, it does have a few more bells and whistles and a little bit more sensors that are all the way around the truck. Interesting stuff. I sure would like to get a close look at each of that stuff and how I just would like to
maybe we can get them to swing that vehicle by here, get Waymo to do that. But also in Volvo news, signed a huge deal, right? Producer overseas in Europe, the largest electric vehicle contract in Europe anyway. I think anywhere though.
Yeah, it's 300 miles I think is what the range of this vehicle is on carrying freight. And if you'll notice, it's a much smaller vehicle, so I'm not sure exactly how much its weight capacity is and what it can carry, but it's very interesting to note. And you know what? It could carry smaller packages and smaller stuff, not nearly as heavy. It's very interesting what they've got going on.
Yeah, and it is interesting to note that this is the largest order of electric vehicles to date. This is the largest any large company has ordered of a big truck that is solely electric powered. And this is making way for a lot of the legislation that's showing up in Europe right now, where a lot of the companies have to go to electric-powered things by 2030. So Volvo's target is to have at least 35% of their trucks fully electrified by 2030.
Wow.
What a battery.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
it really is.
It's unbelievable. And that, you talk about a battery, that's a battery.
And now we're going to talk about the Republic of California. In the Republic of California, drive safe, Dave. Listen here, we have some issues going on there. We have a psychic getting sued right now. Did you see the news on the psychic right there? Here it is. She's getting accused of falsely claiming that she can remove a curse put on to this guy by a witch by his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. So let's follow that story a little bit. A witch has placed a curse on you and your family, sir. And here it is. I found it. I can sense this curse. And your marriage and your children and they will all fail miserably unless you pay me to
$5,000. $5,000 and I can take that curse away. And what happens on that? He's saying, you know what? I'm still cursed. I still can't sleep. She lied to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to sue her. I'm taking her to court. 25 grand is what he's suing her for, right? Yeah. For damages.
First of all, he already wrote her a check for $1,000. So, I mean, shouldn't you see results on $1,000?
I would agree to that. And you know what? Supposedly, he goes in there and does it. He finds her on Google, is what he did.
Yeah,
I found her on Google. I did my research. This should be legit. And I'm saying, you paid $5,000. Well, look here, buddy. $1 a minute. Here you go, right here. Down from $5. You know what happened? Look at the pricing. Have gone from $5 to $1 a minute. Why? Because of this bad publicity in California. The psychics are losing money.
I think it's kind of that hook and ladder thing. I mean, that hook thing. That you know what? Throw it out there. Let's bring them in for $1, and then we cut them off in midstream, and then we go up to the $5, the $10. You know what? You know how it works.
It drives safe. So I watched this. I read this, and some of you are out there saying, "What does this have to do with transportation?" Because I sit there and I wonder, is there room for psychics in what we do? Is there an answer, drive safe, Dave, to some of the challenges that we have? Traffic, getting angry and driving. Drive safe, Dave. Is there an answer with the psychics?
Is there a curse
on distracted? Can you get a cure for the distracted driving? Can a witch take that curse off you?
I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. And by the way, how many witches do you know? I'm just curious.
You know what? It only takes one. Hey, we're going to review that in about 30 seconds on what I just asked right there.
Psychic hotline is great. I called 1-800-535-LIVE for information on how to talk one-on-one with a live psychic. It was easy. We talked about love, relationships, money, and my career, all from the privacy of my own home. It's like having my own personal psychic advisor. She's just like a friend. Call 1-800-535-LIVE to find out how to speak directly with authentic psychic astrologers about love, relationships, or anything that's on your mind. There's no charge for this call, but you must be 18. Call now.
It's too difficult. I just can't seem to make contact. I don't feel his bar. No, wait. I'm feeling something. Did he know someone by the name of Anna? Consuelo? Lucita? Julieta? Josefina? Linda? Maria?
Sí, his mama. She is Maria.
Yes! Praise God, I knew he was with his mama.
Oh my God.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Joe.
Joe.
Joe. I'm not Joe. I'm Drive Safe Dave.
The Drive Safe Dave, oh yeah. One way Dave.
No.
Do not enter Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
I do know you. Hey, I want to welcome you to Sir Psychic House.
What'd you say your name was?
It's Sir Psychic House.
That sounds a lot like Sir Rick, not Sir Rick.
No, Sir Rick. This is Sir Rick's Psychic House.
Okay.
And I see you troubled. What I help you with?
Well, I've come today to you to try to find some answers to a long-lasting problem I have, and that is distracted driving.
Problems you have?
Yes.
You have problems, sir. You have problems, I help you out.
Yes.
Blue pill.
But no. Distracted driving, not anything to do with at home, just out there on the road today.
Oh, you have problem with cell phone? You have problem looking around?
Yes, I need help not to be distracted. I was wondering if you could fix it so I would never be distracted again.
For you, my friend. $5,000. I cure you. You not look at anything anymore.
So
$5,000.
So for $5,000, I would never be distracted again.
Promise you. I promise you.
Okay. So what is it?
All right, we're good with that one.
No Cell Technologies for all of you. Whenever your psychic isn't there for you, No Cell can be.
And welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. That episode brought to you by No Cell Technology, because Drive Safe Dave, sometimes you need a little help to stay off that cell phone while you're driving. You need a little help when you're distracted on the road, and there's only so much your local psychic can do for you.
You know what? I'll take any and all help I can get, but it is nice to know that there is technology out there to help you make better decisions.
Yeah,
right?
so if you're watching BCB Live and this is the first time, there's a great chance this may be the last time No Cell Technologies may come in and file suit against us for falsely using their name. But let me tell you something. We've had No Cell Technologies on the show. We, Drive Safe Dave at BCB Live, we get behind the products that we like.
Yeah.
And what we love about that No Cell Technologies is that it takes away, it helps you get rid of those distractions. Because at the end of the day, when you're out there driving, at the end of the day, when you're not using it anyway, right? You're not watching movies anyway.
Right.
You shouldn't be getting that text anyway. Hey, why not help yourself? Why not take away that temptation, Drive Safe Dave? Because you heard it, you can't pay $5,000 and just get rid of that old, never using it again, right?
Yeah,
it ain't gonna work.
No, it's not gonna work. But you know what I like most about it? If you make the commitment now, like, hey, I'm making a commitment now not to use the phone, then if you make that commitment, I'm not gonna use the phone while driving, It absolutely makes sense that you do something like this, that you go ahead and put this in place so that it helps you not to make that decision.
Yeah,
right?
so we're at 142 days of driving safe.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal streaks, over 11 million miles, great streaks, and we're very proud, very proud of that. But you know what? To get to 300, we may need a little help. And some of that help is designed to do really one or two things, and it's designed about safety, and it's designed to protect your life and the life of others. And sometimes we just need a little bit of help because distractions are real. When we're out there driving, that cell phone, the movies, the phone calls from your dispatcher, they're all real they're all real distractions, including Drive Safe Dave. I'm sure there's an argument or two over that dispatch. Right? Has that ever happened? Has that ever happened in trucking? Have you ever been upset at your dispatcher, your driver manager?
Or you get it on the screen, you're like, what are they talking about?
It's not all fun. It's not, I trust him. I trust her. No. How am I going to get home?
Yeah, I'm going where, and I'm going to do what?
What part of New York don't you understand I don't go to?
Absolutely. City?
Yeah.
What is this Manhattan address?
So, they're all real, and what we want to do is take away some of those distractions. Drive Safe Dave, I want to talk just a little bit, and we're going to kind of bring it home a little bit. Yesterday here in Mansfield, Texas, that's where BCB Live is being shot at. We're here in Mansfield, Texas, and, we're being shot at, pardon the pun, but, we had a school shooting yesterday inside of the small town of Mansfield, Texas. And first of all, what breaks my heart to see these kids, right? To see us having to live in that kind of fear. Drive Safe Dave, I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, my daughter came up here, doesn't go to that school, okay? Understand, she doesn't go to Timberview High School. She goes to Mansfield High School. But we have the Ben Barber, the local academy that they all kind of share. So they're all connected to everybody inside the high school here. And I didn't even think about that, Drive Safe Dave, but I saw her in the break room yesterday. She came in because they let the kids out of some of the schools, and she's visibly upset.
Right.
And I'm thinking, it didn't even happen at your school. That's just what I was thinking. But my God, the connection that these kids have via Twitter, via Snapchat, it's like they know everybody in the whole community now, right? And
they play sports with them.
Yes, they do. Against them.
And they play, play against them. And also they play outside teams with them, right? They play in your community, and you go to church. You go to different, there are so many connections that we have with people that live in our community. And just because you go to a different high school across doesn't mean you don't know. You knew people in a different high school, and you know people that are across town. And I'm telling you, those connections are real. But we look at it, and it is a very, very upsetting event. My wife and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and it is nothing about it. I was watching, it was on national news. It was portrayed on national news. It took up a large portion of the news nationally and all of the local news. But how horrible that these things happen to our people, and nobody had any idea that it was going to go down.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation, and I want to tie it back into the world we live in today, because we speak about that to our children, we speak about that to the employees as well. Is you never know what let's just take it to distracted driving. When you're driving and somebody's cut you off and they do the brake check at you, and you know what? I'm going to get on their tail. Drive Safe Dave, you don't know what's in the mind of somebody else. You don't know what kind of stress they're in. You don't know what point is the pushing point, right? Is the tipping point. You don't know. Maybe they're there right now. And maybe at that school, that's where it was at, right? Maybe it took one more thing, one more fight, one more thing that in this kid's mind, it was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to face the humility of knowing maybe I got beat in a fight or whatever. There's only one answer. And you don't know that answer out there on the highway either. You don't know if that car that cut you off, that's now putting the brakes on, and you're getting upset at them, you're tailgating them, you don't know if that's the last straw for them as well. And it's something you have to consider. And that's when you've got to just understand, again, we're going to talk situational awareness. It's time to back off. It's time to open that door. It's time to be nice. It's time to forgive. It's time to get off the road. If, in fact, you find yourself getting to that point, you've got to get off that road.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, in every truck driver, truly every truck driver faces the same thing every day. Those challenges, those incredible challenges, we all get that one finger wave. out there on the road. It happens, and you just let it. You learn to let it go. It's you don't even they don't even phase you anymore, right? They really don't. They're just part of the job, and truly, you've got to get that tough skin about you, right? You've got to go. You know what? Let them do what they do. They come around. They'll hit brake check you. They'll make you mad. They'll cut you off. It's time to let it go and move on and be successful. We don't know what they'll do. We don't know how they'll react. We don't know if they have a gun in the car. Statistics say that 1 in 4, there's a gun in a car. 1 in 4 in the state of Texas. That's a pretty incredible number. And those right there are numbers that you don't want to take for, you don't want to challenge. You don't want to think that it's not going to happen to you. And what you really need to do is understand your responsibility is to keep not only yourself safe, but safe everybody about you. And the way you do that is do your business.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much just almost insanity going on, right? We talked yesterday about the games that people are playing by hopping on the back of a truck, hopping on the back of a trailer, taking a joyride down Nashville, down Atlanta, as it's the new game. And you know, what's going on in our mind, right? What's going on in our minds that we have to have the Atlanta sheriff or and say that, you know what, you're playing games with your life. And we said yesterday, like, really? Seriously? I mean, do we really have to tell people this? That when you hop on a truck, there's a good chance it's not going to come out in your favor. There's a good chance that you die. There's a good chance that now you do that, a driver still, drive safe Dave, is going to live with the fact that you died and you were on my truck. And the pain that's going to go through that, the pain that happens, and it's real. We've seen it at truck stops. We've seen it at a lot of trucking companies. We've seen it at shipping locations, at post offices, right?
Yep.
Where enough's enough. Somebody pushed somebody too far. And again, what I wanted you to hear today is that you don't know what's too far. You know, you may have I just got on his tail. I just flashed my lights. I just honked my horn. But you don't know what happened to that driver seconds ago, minutes ago, hours ago, days ago. Did he or she lose a family? Did they lose their job?
They lose their
What
marriage.
is their stress that's going on? And that, my friend, that is where you have got to back it up. You've got to slow down. You've got to get in your own world and protect life and make great decisions to protect life.
And it's hard. It's hard to do in the moment.
Without a doubt.
It's hard to do in that because you have certain things you have to get past, right? Number one is that pride. Number one is that, you've got to get past that and understand you've got to be better than that. And the only way to do that is realize you don't know where they are. You don't know where their mindset is. You don't know where they are at any time. All you can do is know where you are and what you can do to diffuse the situation and make great decisions, right? That's all you can control is your own attitude. And if you can control that and hold it down and make great decisions, you have a much better chance of being successful. We read all the times in the news, we hear about gunshots at truck stops, and we get people shooting each other on the freeway. Road rage. Yep. It's real. It's not
real.
It's so real. And you've got to realize you don't know where they are, but you know where you are, and you know where you have to be.
Yeah, so here, if we have a few minutes here, if you have a story you want to talk about, a bad situation that maybe you found yourself in that, in hindsight, right, you should have done it different. Maybe you should have backed up. That resulted in a bad situation or could have gotten a bad situation. And maybe it was just yelling or arguing on that. Drive safe, I'll tell you. So my daughter, when she's in college now, but when her first trip to a volleyball game on her own, she was like 17 years old or 16 maybe. You know, you may question the dad that let her go to the downtown Dallas on her own, but she went in there during the day. It's a Saturday morning. I wanted her to get that experience. She drives down. She gets to the place, and she's a little panicky. She's done well, though. It's her first time driving in Dallas by herself, and all of a sudden somebody reaches out and starts shooting a gun. Freaked her out. Did nothing wrong. The guy just hopped out of his truck and started shooting. Freaked her out in situational awareness, and she just freaked out. But imagine if somebody said, "Oh, you're not. I'm going to shoot at you." Are they shooting at me? They grab a gun and take a shot back. You never know what is in the mind of somebody else out there, and it is real. Producer.
Yeah. And speaking of guns, I actually had Justin Hayes reached out to me yesterday and said that he talked to a driver briefly yesterday that had actually gotten shot at while driving the truck He had sent me a picture, and I'll throw it up later this afternoon if Justin is okay with that. And the driver was in their cab. I believe it was at a stoplight. He would be able to tell it better than I would. But got shot at by snake shot in the truck and just had to keep on going. You know, it's always, you never know what's going to happen to you whenever you're out there, and people are furious right now for some reason, you know.
I've heard of many instances where guys have gotten shot. They've had bullet holes in their tanks because they were trying to ignite the fuel by shooting at a truck, even though it's diesel and it's really hard to do that. But I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable the attitude and the mindset that you can encounter out there. And what we're really talking about here is your opportunity to make a great decision in that time. I mean, really, that's what we do here. We got into all these moments and all these instances where everybody's doing better, right? We train, and it's hard to train for that gunshot. I mean, when did you have that conversation at any time with her that, hey, during gunfire, don't panic, you know, when you're driving? You don't have that conversation. And as we talk about these situations and we think about these situations, we have to ask ourselves, what will I do? What should I do? Number one, avoid the situation. Number two, diffuse it the best you can. Stay away from danger, right? You know, stranger danger, but stay away from danger and do what you can. And if you have to, that 911 call is always paramount.
Thank you. And I was going to bring that point up. Listen, if you find yourself in that situation, your first call needs to be to 911.
Not to us.
Yeah, 911. That's where you do it. I wanted to make sure we got that point out. When you find yourself in that bad situation, your call's got to be, and that can be, it doesn't mean a gunfire at this point, right? That can mean angry driving. That can, that four-wheeler's just pissed off. He's you've got to get 911 involved because you don't want it to escalate and you don't want to handle it yourself.
Yeah, and you never know when they're truly satisfied, right? Just because they brake checked you once or they get in front of you, they cut you off. You never know when they're truly satisfied. And if you can find your way to get away from them, even if that means cut and go into a different direction or exiting the freeway after they've passed the exit or getting off the road away from them, it is always ideal. But do yourself a favor. Don't do anything to antagonize another driver.
Yeah, and again, there's so many different ways. I'm going to go into just a quick story. It was my first lesson as a young manager growing up is that I handled a situation wrong. So I bring a guy and he's out there on the line and he's a big old boy. And here I am. I'm thinking we're pretty cool and everything, but I'm getting ready to fire him. And I call him out. Say, hey, come on, I need to talk to you. But I called him out in front of all of his buddies. Mistake number one, right? I hurt his pride. And he comes in here into the thing and he's sitting directly across from me. And I have another supervisor in there that played football over at Baylor. Big old boy too, except he's all the way down the end. He's at no help for me. And I'm telling him, and the whole time I'm talking to him, he's just getting furious at me. Not because I'm going to fire him, but because the way I handled it to him. I called him out in front of his peeps, in front of his buddies, in front of his friends, in front of his coworkers, and brought him in, and they all knew what was going to happen. I didn't do it side by side, right? I didn't put myself in his shoes. What's he going through? What's his situation? Drive Safe Dave, the guy got up, stood in front of me, and he was just yelling at me. And there was nothing I could do. I mean, the dude would have crushed me. And the whole time I'm thinking, do I have my insurance card? And the whole time I'm thinking, why did I do it like this? This wasn't worth it. I'm getting ready to get crushed. What is my face going to look like when he's done with me? And the whole time I'm thinking this while he's yelling at me, he turns around, he gets his fist up, and I look at my buddy Aaron over at the end, and I just told Aaron, I said, just stay there now. There's nothing you can do. It's done. My work on the earth is done, and so here he goes, and his fist comes up, and he swings, but he doesn't hit me. I have my phone sitting right here. He hits my phone goes everywhere. And he's done though. He's like, that took it out. And he's like, I'm sorry, Rick. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thank God somehow you did it. But you know what? But that could have been me, right? And what a silly way for me to handle that situation. And when you're out there on the road, you don't think what you're doing is that much. You don't know what's in the mind of somebody else. And he should have never, but he did. And one hit from this dude changes my life, my cycle, my career forever. I'm sure of it. I mean, that phone's no bueno, no mas, man. That phone gone. That would have been me. And all I'm telling you is you don't know what's in the mind of somebody else. You've got to back up. You've got to sometimes, drive to Dave, walk away. Absolutely. You got to someday think it a little bit different. Put yourself in there. What is going on? Let them in. Back off. Don't honk. Don't put your flashers. It's not worth it. Life is so precious. Yep. Don't make a mistake, even a mistake that you're not aware of. Think about it first. Back off. Drive safe, Dave. I tell you, life is precious. You just don't know what's in the mind of somebody else.
You don't. You can't, and you shouldn't. But what you can do is do what you have to do to be safe. And we talk about it here. We do everything that we can, but realize that as we looked at yesterday, and what I think Sir Rick is really getting at is that you never know the moment when somebody snaps. You'll never know what it's going to take. You'll never know, and you don't want to be any part of that moment in which somebody snaps, because believe it or not, that four-wheel vehicle is very dangerous, and it can kill just as easy as a gun. And you and I both know out there on the road, you have to do everything you can to not only protect yourself, but protect everyone around you. And the best way you can do that is avoid those situations and stay away from them.
Yep. So, hey, listen, we're going to be back to you in 60 seconds. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Buckle up, Bob, coming up next. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News over the UK, they have the Army personnel getting ready to start driving the fuel truck. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob.
And most importantly, safety.
You can do many things to communicate that you are slowing down. You can flip your hazards on.
Expect craziness like this all the time.
75% of these fatal accidents involving these trucks are with the first two, and it's the driving too fast and tailgating. If this driver hadn't slowed down, this could have been a whole different outcome.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thankful Thursday. We are going to talk a little bit about some traffic, if you will. Again, really bad today. Expect major delays as you come into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can see a lot of red. The loop pretty much has red all the way around the Dallas one, and then pretty much the eastern half of the loop, the 820 loop over in the Fort Worth area as well. So major construction and traffic slowdowns. You can see some dark maroon here in south of Dallas. Also, you've got 360 with some problems as you between Interstate 20 and 30 as well. So again, just patience, right? You're going to have to put on your patience today if you come into the Dallas DFW area. As we go to Kansas City, again, not too bad. All the loops look pretty clear as you go through and around Kansas City. A little bit in the downtown area, but really you always want to avoid them anyway, on these major cities, and just loop around it. Because as you can see in Kansas City, all the loops look pretty good. A little bit of construction up here on the northeast side of it, 435. So, but all in all, shouldn't have too many issues going through Kansas City or around it this morning. Chicago, got some rain, as you can see, in the Chicago area. So again, traffic's going to be a problem with just the weather itself, but you can also see coming from Indiana, heavy traffic on the loop coming into downtown Chicago on 55 from Plainfield. You've got some major traffic backups there as well, and in the northern part as well, coming in 90. So you got a mixture this morning of some heavy traffic and some major rain. It looks like you can see a lot of yellow in this area as well. So you're fighting a whole lot of things this morning in the Chicago area. Please slow down. Remember, hydroplaning starts at 40 miles an hour pretty much. It can happen at any time if there's ponding, But you just got to be mindful of that. Hey, at 45, and reminder, you may not have a problem because of your weight, right? If you're a truck driver out there, but the four-wheelers still drive the same as you do. And so when they're around you, they will lose control and spin out around or in front of you. So please slow down, be patient. The weather is what the weather is, right? And you just got to deal with it. Hey, as we move over to the Philadelphia area, again, we have some scattered showers. You can see the rain. A little bit better picture, I guess, than recent, but we still got some pretty good slowdowns. You can see on the New Jersey side here, just east of and southeast of Philadelphia, a little bit of slowdown and some yellow. But look all the way out here to the west, southwest, some major traffic issues there between 452 and 352 if you're coming in that area. And then 476, the loop around Philadelphia and the Turnpike. You've got some on the western side of Philadelphia as well. And as you can see, up here in the north part of it, again, some major traffic. So probably a lot of that due to the rain. And it looks like it's the scattered type. So you're going to have that dangerous conditions when it just starts mixing with the oil. Be mindful of that. And again, got to slow down as you come to the Philadelphia area this morning. Hey, we're going to Atlanta. Atlanta, some showers way out, but that's going to get worse as we go today. And when we get into the weather a little bit later, you'll see some forecasts for some rain in the Atlanta area today. But again, the loop is really slowed down and congested. You've got it even down here in the southern part, which is usually open and not very much traffic. We've got some backups down by the airport in Atlanta area. And then the northern loop is always busy, and you can see a lot of red there. So again, expect some 30 to 45-minute delays as you come into the Atlanta area. As we go to Nashville, Nashville also, boy, it just seems like Thursday is going to be traffic day today because, again, you got a lot of red. 24 always seems to have some as you come up into the city of Nashville. 40 on the eastern side has a lot of major backup and traffic issues. And then north coming on 24 and 65 there, just north of the city as well. You can expect some delays this morning as well as you come through the Nashville area. Baltimore, you know, we talk about Baltimore and D.C. because it's always a nightmare there. Anybody that's driven in there, I mean, I've driven there with a four-wheeler and a car, and it is a nightmare. It's almost as bad as driving out in California in the big cities. But again, you're going to have some delays, even on the loop. You can see the northern part of the loop around Baltimore, 695, has some major traffic delays, as well on the western side of Baltimore. So we'll go to some weather, and I'll show you. You can see the showers right there around. You can see them up here in Chicago, and we've got some scattered around Georgia. And as we go through the day, what you're going to see is that's going to get potentially worse. You can see the forecast is for some strong storms to develop in the Atlanta area. As we go through the day, that drifts a little bit south. So again, Atlanta today, you can expect some very strong storms to develop is what they're forecasting. And you can see a lot of rain from Chicago all the way down to the Carolinas as well. As you go through the evening, this gets a little bit more congested with more widespread chances of storms. And then for our Friday, again, that system moves a little bit to the east. You can see the Carolinas up there on 81, kind of corridor right up through there. You can expect some storms to develop, as well as out in the west. Now our wind, we're going to get a pretty good light day today on the wind. It will kick up a little bit. You can see a little bit in the Reno area of the 20s. Not too bad. And then it dies down. But tomorrow, we can see the wind start to pick up in Nevada and Salt Lake. And as we go through the day, there it kind of mushrooms out about 5 p.m. tomorrow. So we're going to expect some 45 potential wind gusts, 45 to 50 miles. Remember, if you're empty, you've got to pull over. That can blow you over. You've got to reduce your speed. And then about 9 o'clock, it starts to die down tomorrow evening. So expect some strong winds as you go through the day tomorrow. Today should be a light wind day, some rain in the southeast. Slow down, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some safety.
and welcome back to BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. Buckle up, Bob. No, we're talking about braking today, and as most of us know here, Drive Safe Dave, you got a brake when we hired you, so you can just kind of just steer over there.
While I'm over in the rest area, I'm actually taking a break. I'm actually taking a break.
You wear that shirt 4 or 5 times a week?
No, not this shirt.
The rest area.
Oh, well, it's the mindset's there. You know what I mean? The mindset's there. I know where the rest area is. My office.
I was just going to say your office. Oh, man. Okay, we better move on.
Let's talk about brakes, though, Buckle up, Bob.
A different kind of braking.
Yes.
You know, one of the things I always like, as talking to the drivers over the years, we talk about some of the tools that you possess, and you possess a lot of them to prevent accidents. But I always like the first 4 of the lead twos, right? You got to be situationally aware, keep alert, be your head on a swivel. You have to reduce your speed, and you have to increase that space. But the brakes are probably the most important aspect of preventing accidents, right? Which can lead to no loss of life. And the difference between braking and the other 3 are proactive. When you use those other 3 really well, when you use your situational awareness and you slow your speed and you increase your speed, when you have to hit the brakes, they become more effective. We've talked a lot, and we've seen the growth of drivers on this show over and over, where they would see a potential situation, wait till they got on it, and then hit the brakes. So as they watch these videos, they have now gotten to the point where they hit the brakes first, and that's the point I want to stress. When you see a potential hazard, you need to hit the brakes immediately. You don't have to hard brake. Just start to slow that speed immediately while you process and figure out, is this a real situation? Is it just some slow traffic? What's happening? Because especially at night, it's hard to tell whether them vehicles are moving and at what speed. So again, just want to remind you that when you use the first 3 parts of these lead twos, you make the 4th part, the brakes, more effective.
So, hey, Buckle up, Bob, you talk about the brakes, and you say, you talk about hitting the hard brakes, right? But what we don't want you to be afraid of as well is hitting the hard brakes. Sometimes it's required. It's not always a bad thing. And I will tell you this.
No.
If it's hard brake or no brake, I'm going to say hard brake. The no brake's not an option.
No.
You got to slow down.
Sometimes you just have to stop. And however you need to stop, you stop. I mean, that's the rule. Sometimes you just have to come to a complete stop. And I'll tell you, we think about it and inside the truck. And if you're a driver, if you're inside the truck and you look around and you're looking at it, you got one gas pedal, you got one brake pedal, but you also have the hand brake. You also have the trailer brake button, and you have the tractor brake button. You've got all these buttons that really, and a lot more fundamental things going on, not to accelerate the truck, but basically stop it and keep it stopped.
Even technology, right, designed to stop the truck, to slow it down, to keep you from tailgating, to keep your distance away. You have all of these things that are designed really to help you increase your space. And you know what? We've got to embrace that. And sometimes not getting too close is the answer, meaning that don't let the technology work.
Yeah.
Slow down before the technology begins to. That's when you really have started to increase your vision, right? You're looking up ahead, you're looking to the left, looking to the right, your eyes are continuously moving. You know what's going on. You're anticipating, right? You're preventing the accident. You don't want it to be your fault. You're slowing down, making sure your space is there. And then Drive Safe Dave, sometimes that technology steps in and helps us because it can react quicker than we can.
Yeah, the collision avoidance systems and all of these that also will engage the brake. But we have all these opportunities to touch the brake. And you touch the brake, you kick off your cruise. You touch the brake, you can slow down. You signal people behind you what your intention is. You touch the brake. There's so many things that go on when you hit the brakes. And Bob's talking about it, and we've talked about all that that preventative stuff before. Now we're talking about the action now in order to avoid a collision or get into a bad situation or do what you have to do. Got to make sure that I'm okay with braking. I'm absolutely okay with braking. I'm okay with doing everything that you can to avoid a collision and avoid an accident.
Yeah, what we've seen is most of the braking, especially the hard braking, are good ones. They're not the ones that are last minute. They used to be that way, but we've seen more and more where the hard brakes are just the reactionary tool. Remember, the first 3 are proactive tools. The braking is the reactionary tool, but it's still a good tool. It's the best tool you have at preventing accidents. So we want you to continue to use the brake. as we see in a lot of the videos, we just want to see it a little sooner than later, and that's what we want to really stress today. And we're going to see some great videos where this happened, and it was needed
All
today.
right. Well, let's take a look at it. Who's got the popcorn? Movie time.
All right. Man, you talk about tailgating. Look at that. What is that, less than 20 feet?
I can't
I
even
mean,
tell.
no
That is
idea what's in
scary.
front of the other vehicle, right? I mean, come on. I mean, again, when we find ourselves in that situation, and it's, you know, and I'm sure it happens, right? You driving that truck, you've got to back off. It's not doing any good. This isn't Daytona 500.
You're not drafting.
You're not drafting.
Yeah, drafting is not going to work out there on the freeway. This is not NASCAR. This is trucking. And this right here is so dangerous. If you see this moment right here, you need to get out of it and get away from it and allow this other guy to get over quicker, because there's nothing going to stop this guy from pushing anymore. I mean, we can't do that. So we've got to figure out a better way to avoid this. And our best way to avoid this is back off really quickly. I mean, just back off from here and allow this guy to get over in this crazy to get out of the way.
Yeah, Buckle Bob, I look at these videos, and in my heart, you know, if I'm that driver that's doing the tailgating right there, I mean, I need to see this video, because there's no chance that I can drive this truck and I'm okay with that decision. Do I see what I'm really doing? You know, if there's a way for us to get our word out, the BCB Live, to everybody, what I think is so valuable is when you see this, you're thinking, who would do that? Well,
Right.
we've all done it.
Yep.
Right? We've all done it.
Absolutely.
And now we
Yes.
have to react. We have to have that action that says, I'm doing that thing again that was on the show. I'm doing it. I must back off.
Absolutely.
This is where I believe the videos make the most.
Sure does. Here again, great space and reaction time. Owning the space. Traffic's going to come to a stop, and so is this driver. Look at all the space. Just textbook. Great
Phenomenal.
job.
Yep. BCB award winner right there.
That's a good job.
You know, here, you've got an emergency vehicle. This driver's keeping the space. Look at that. Brake lights are coming on. This driver isn't gaining on the vehicle. He starts to now, but look, able to stop as that emergency vehicle got over to the left, and the other vehicles barely did. But again, you can see they're not reacting sooner.
Yeah, so when you see it right now, at the very beginning of this, drive safe, Dave, you have no idea what lane this, what side of the road this is on. That's the first thing I said. So what you must do, Bob, is slow down.
Yeah.
Right? You have to slow down to allow yourself to react accordingly, because it may be on the left, it may be on the right. Heck, drive safe, Dave, it may be in your lane.
Yeah, this is the one, when you see these disco lights going on in the distance, this is the one party you don't want to get to first, right? You want to slow down and you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can, and even if you have to, allow these people in front of you to get over, because you need them out of there too. So you got to do everything you can to make it better.
And so back-to-back videos, Buckle Up, Bob, of phenomenal actions, right?
Yes.
Slowing down before I get there, I'm already applying my brakes. What's going on? What can I react accordingly? And here comes another video.
Yeah, that speed was at 48 miles an hour. So great job. Again, another one under 45 and able to react. Traffic's going to come to a stop. So does this driver. We always talk. We love to see the road between. If you can see the road over your hood, you're able to stop at least 30 feet to 40 feet behind that vehicle in front of you, and that is perfect. You want to be able to do that. Just tremendous. Here you got a light yellow. And there goes, I mean, this is why intersections are so dangerous.
Oh
Two
my
cars,
God.
look at that.
So again, though, that second car goes through. Why does he go through?
Because
he can't even see.
Yeah, oh,
I don't
that
think
too.
he sees the light. And by the time
Possibly.
he sees it, it's too late, because he or she is tailgating the big truck. They don't see the lights just change because they can't see it.
Yep.
Or don't care.
Look.
Yeah.
Or don't
Oh
care.
my God. I mean, folks, buckle up, Bob. Preach the word.
Yeah.
Continue to talk about intersections, because they are freaking dangerous.
They are, and you're gonna, and we'll pause before the last one because I want to ask you something. But this is, we often talk about that. You can't. A lot of drivers don't believe they can control what's behind them, and this is an example where if that truck was slowing down, preparing to stop, this car doesn't do it. And everything's a good situation. So you do affect the traffic behind you. Anybody in the lane of this driver was going to have to stop.
Yeah, look at the driver
slow
that's here
down.
right now. He's already slowing. We're already slowing down
Yes.
right now. The driver's slowing down. The traffic behind him, buckle up, Bob, to your point, is also forced to
Yes.
slow down. The other vehicle to our left, There's no break on here. He's in a bad situation. Why? Because Drive Safe Dave, he doesn't understand, or she doesn't understand the value of that green light, the stale green light that says it's been green for a long time. Hey, heads up, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna turn yellow. I'm gonna turn red. You need to slow down way back there where that other truck slowed down.
Yeah, and you can tell already that we're already slowing down. That other truck had already made the decision a long time ago. I'm not stopping. Yeah. I'm not stopping. And why in your heart of hearts would you want to make, no matter what, I'm not stopping, I'm pushing my way? And then look what leaders, guess what follows leaders? Yep. You know, and then this is what happens is somebody is, and they can't really see the light because you're blocking it, right? Because of your big high cab. And they can't see it behind this other vehicle, so they can't see it there either. And you know what? They're just going to follow. You're the leader. Yep. Why not follow the big truck? He knows what he's doing.
He's the king.
He's the king.
He's the queen. She's the queen. Whatever they are, I'm following them because buckle up, Bob. They are supposed to be, they have that higher class CDL. They are the experts on the highway. I encourage you, buckle up, to share this video with that JB Hunt. Yes. Let's let them see what happened there. I mean, those are major.
Yes. So here, again, you know, just a reminder, hey, this is a short stop. I think there's room here, but you just don't know. Remember, stop short of the tracks because if you're bobtailing, this is okay. But if you've got a trailer, you're probably hanging on that track. So just a kind of quick reminder, you know, we kind of forget about these every once in a while, and then we get a nice video to be able to remind us about the railroad crossing. Stop on that white line before the crack. You cannot block the train track.
Well, I mean, so let's just talk about this for a second. What a bad place to have a stop sign. What a bad place to, you know, to not have a light. Because, you know, if you stop behind the train track, you still have a stop sign right there that you also have to stop at. You don't have much of a choice with a stop sign than to stop right there at the sign, which may put your trailer on that track.
Yeah, yes. So ideally, in this situation, you want to come up to the railroad track and you want to do the one thing that never fails, and that's to look both ways on the track to know that there's nothing coming. When you know that nothing's coming and you can proceed forward safely to the stop sign and then proceed out into traffic, you have that, you've done everything, you've done what you can do to ensure the safety of you and and everybody around you, because when a truck gets hit by a train, it does incredible damage all down the line, and many people can get hurt. Not only yourself can get killed, but it can do, and it can even derail a train. So, but coming up to this railroad track, looking both ways slowly, and then proceeding to the stop sign is ideal.
Yes, and great point there. That's what I wanted to talk about too. Was, hey, you got to stop here and make sure there is nothing, because you know you have to stop up here, and you know that if you stop before the white line, saw that there was no train on the tracks, then you know it's safe to go to the stop sign and make your next stop as well. If the trucks or trailers hanging over, you've already declared or determined that there's no trains on the track in this instance. So
be as safe as you can. You got to make a great decision, and you know what? It doesn't take but just a second to look both ways.
Yep. All right, here, you know, again, we talk about emergency crews. Great job, just keeping a space, slowing down, being patient. You know, I believe this, they're working an accident here. The vehicle has a cover over the front of it, so not sure what all it was. But again, you know, just a reminder, this is why you have to increase your space, slow your speed, and especially when there's emergency crews, you know, slow way down. This driver does a great job actually increasing the space as they creep by the emergency crews.
Good stuff.
Now, before we go to the next one, can you pause it? Oh, Kurt, I forgot.
In John Deere.
Did you see it already?
Green.
Okay. I was going to ask what would you least expect in an intersection? Go ahead. Sorry, producer.
I have so seen this. This isn't the first time I've ever seen that.
Taking up a lane and crossing. Had a bunch of semis stop, but good job by all the trucks waiting for the
intersection
lawnmower.
To clear.
Yeah,
they'll have to wait for the intersection to clear.
Driver down the middle of.
I mean, there's a good chance that this lawnmower, right? Is that what that is? This tractor, whatever. That he catches the green light perfectly and doesn't cross it before it turns red.
Yes. Great point.
Look at this. I mean, come on.
First of all, I just want to know, is there a seat belt on this tractor? I just want to know, and does it have the lighting necessary to travel on the track?
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be there.
I don't
But again,
either.
you're on the.
But it doesn't matter. It's something is in the intersection. You have to wait till the intersection clears. That's it. That's
Yes.
the rule.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Nobody hopping on this vehicle is for a ride, right?
No.
I mean,
I don't know.
You know, but it also, you know, these are them rural intersections, these rural highways that are just so scary because this is what you're going to see. You're going to see people riding a lawnmower.
You never know what to expect.
No.
And it,
producer, I know we have a question or two out there. Who do we got?
Yeah, we got Kelly Brown and then David Mason and Alex Rodriguez. What do you got for us, Kelly?
How about you, Kelly? All right, David Mason, talk to us, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
First of all, I want to say you guys do a wonderful job explaining and talking about these videos. Most of the time in the morning, I'm driving and I'm just listening, but I can get a really clear picture just based off of what you guys are saying. And one of the things I wanted to bring up, like you guys talked about in the safety part about the brakes, a whole bunch of things like off the cruise and things like that. And then during the videos, the one where controlling the people behind you or trying to or helping. Another thing that happens when you hit your brakes, those brake lights come on and you communicate with people. And I know I'm going to do this and I'm not trying to be funny, but it falls right in line. And I know we're not supposed to, well, you guys aren't supposed to, but Thankful Thursday and everything, but use communication to avoid a bad situation. This is just a perfect example of it right there. And I just wanted to bring that up.
No, you're absolutely right, and what a great phrase that you came up with, and
Maybe
love that, right?
Maybe we'll use that.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it'll really pay its due on the highway. You know, if you guys can follow
It will
that.
pay. That phrase will pay.
All right, we have A-Rod. A-Rod, what's going on, sir?
Hey, Alex, what do you got for us?
Alex.
All right.
No, Alex. Who was the first one? Never came back on either. Kelly Brown. Kelly Brown, one more time.
Can you make yourself green?
All right. Hey, drive safe, Dave. Buckle up, Bob. It is Thankful Thursday, right?
Yes,
And
it is.
it's what we talked about today about life and how precious life is.
Yeah, we got a big reminder yesterday.
Yeah, we
you know.
do.
That is, it's everybody.
And we have to, we have to remember how precious life is. And on Thankful Thursday, it's our chance to say thank you for what you do out there. But you know what? Thankful Thursday can be celebrated on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It can be the act of you opening the door for somebody else, telling them thank you, making their day that special. While we here at BCB Live, we take that opportunity to make sure that we say it on Thursday, make it a Thankful Thursday. My goodness, this world that we're in today, it needs it 7 days a week. We all have to do our part to love one another, right? To hold that door, to do acts of kindness to others. It's something that we've all got to take a focus on. You have that ability out there. I want to make sure you understand this. You absolutely have that opportunity daily in how you drive that truck. You have that ability to show people what acts of kindness are, to show people what courteous driving looks like, to show your fellow drivers out there what it's like to be a professional driver. You know, we have so many opportunities daily, and I want to make sure we take advantage of these. It's an opportunity, right? We hear these stories. Well, we have an opportunity daily to kind of pay it forward, an opportunity daily to show the world what we can do, to show the world what it can look like. Well, we can fall, and we can sit back and blame the world for a lot of things. We can get angry, at our situation in life, or we can do something about it. And when I say do something about it, it means we can fight that. We can go after. We can be kind. We can love one. I was going to say that again. Boy, loving one another is so key. Having that ability to forgive, right? And forgive means they cut me off. I'm going to let it go. To forgive can be to forgive yourself. right? You know, I'm tailgating right now. I just ran a light. I did whatever, slow roll to stop sign. You know what? I've got to stop for a second. Kind of forgive yourself and don't do that action again. We can make a difference. We can make a difference in our industry, in this world. You, each one of you, have that opportunity. You affect, what, thousands of lives a day?
Yes.
I mean, think how many people we pass.
Yeah, they come into contact with more people than you, I, or will come into contact in every single day. And, you know, appreciating what you have, appreciating what you will have, and understanding that each one of us is so important in what we do. You have that ability to pay it forward, like you said.
Yep. Hey, let's close this with a prayer, Drive Safe.
Hey, Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we come to say thank you to all those men and women out there that do so much out there on the road for each and every person in this country. Father, we ask that you comfort them and that you protect them today in what they do. Father, help them to make great decisions and help all of us to make better decisions so that we can do your will upon the world as you see it. Father, thank you for everything that you do for us, and we do appreciate what you have given us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. BCB Live, safest station in the nation. We'll see you this afternoon. God bless.